People is pleased to present 40 Days 40 Fintechs, an initiative under its Include Everyone program, as it continues to lead the way in advocacy for the creation and dissemination of technology that enables financial inclusivity. The 40 Days 40 Fintechs is shining a spotlight on those that are breaking down digital barriers and bringing millions more on the continent into the transactional space and transforming their lives for the better.
Hi, my name's Tim Jamieson. I'm the VP of Payments and Financial Services for SafeBoda. For those of you that don't know SafeBoda is a ride-hailing company based in Ibadan in Nigeria and headquartered in Kampala, Uganda. We started broadly 6 years ago as a road safety community for Boda-Bodas, so two-wheeler taxis in Kampala. And from there, sort of evolved into sort of a more formalized ride-hailing service through our digital platform. Along the way, we've continued to add some really exciting services for our customers, Bodas and vendor network, including kind of food and shop. We've added the ability to buy airtime, fuel, as well as send packages. Over the next 12 months, we're going to continue our evolution with some really exciting new products and services being launched. As we gain our MPS license from the Bank of Uganda, we'll continue to build our payments ecosystem, open loop wallet, savings products, working capital loans for our vendor network, and many more. Clearly, it's been very challenging 12 months for our SafeBoda community, our passengers and the company. But given our roots in the community of the SafeBodas, we've continued to be super supportive and focused on making sure that, that we get through these challenges as a group and as a community. As part of that, we've been distributing food parcels to 3,000 of our SafeBoda drivers across Kampala. We've also looked to pause all loans for equipment and asked our financing partners for the bikes to do the same. We have also been in partnership with the Ministry of Health to distribute vaccines to our SafeBoda drivers and their families at the academy in Chebanda. In response to the first wave of the pandemic, we launched our shop function, which allowed people to order from pharmacies. And latterly, we've partnered with Rocket Health to deliver COVIDx, which has obviously been a huge success and support during kind of the latter waves of COVID. To help support our passengers, we've continued to provide discounts and cashback where we can on food and shop. That includes 10% over the last month to help support all of our community to get through this together. Yeah, I mean, e-commerce for us really is across the platform. So. Everything from, I guess, the consumption of rides to airtime to payments sort of all sort of falls into e-commerce for us. For the more sort of traditional, I guess, goods ordering, our food business continues to go from strength to strength as we add more vendors and we add more services for our vendors. So, I think for us, e-commerce really goes two ways, which is, on the first side, do we have the right vendors for our customers to buy food from? And the second is, are we the right partner for our vendors? And so, as we've built our community over the last 12 months, we're now looking to add more services for our vendors. So we're due to start the pilot for working capital loans to help our merchant partners grow their businesses, and that's launching this week. So as we kind of look to sort of build this service and community, it really is about the vendor provisions as well as the customers. On shop, as we said, as I said a minute ago, sort of shop was created in response to the first wave of the pandemic and exists to allow us to provide services for people to have access to things like pharmacies. As I mentioned, COVIDx has been hugely popular in this wave of the pandemic. And so both have kind of gone from strength to strength, as you would expect as people look to go cashless and also order provisions to where they stay. I think it's a great question and obviously one we're sort of super focused on. And it falls into three categories for us. We've got what we do in the business itself, where we are broadly 50-50, male to female across the whole company, which we're very proud of and we'll kind of continue to be super focused on and grow. There's what we're doing on the driver community, which isn't quite as impressive. I think we've got just over 20,000 registered Boda-Bodas, of which 3 are female. So there's clearly some work to do there, but we are partnering with the Shell Foundation and other local partners to establish what the bottlenecks are to help improve that journey for women that do want to become Boda-Boda drivers, because it is still an extremely male-dominated sort of sector of our economy. And finally, on the kind of financial inclusion piece, as I mentioned earlier, we are supporting our vendors with working capital loans, which allow us to be super targeted to ensure that capital is being provided to female-run, female-owned businesses, and just provide that kind of support financially as well as they look to scale their enterprises. As I said in my introduction, we've evolved from a road safety community into something much different, where we're providing an app that has multiple use cases, as I said, across food and shop and send, buying airtime, buying fuel, whatever it happens to be. But as we look forward into the next 6 months, and we work with the Bank of Uganda to gain our payments license, we're going to be expanding the network, our payments ecosystem, the products available to all of our customers, SafeBodas and vendors, which we think there really is a place for. So if you think to send 5,000 shillings can cost you, across networks, can cost you over 1,000 shillings to do so, or 2,000 shillings if you're sending between two different networks. We think there is more to be done here. Mobile money and mobile money ecosystems form such a large part of the backbone for Uganda and also for Africa as a whole, that we think that there should be continuing incremental improvements in how this is delivered. So for us, as I said, we've got some super exciting use cases on our app already, and we're going to add a payments ecosystem. We're going to add a savings product. I alluded to, we're going to be adding working capital loans for our vendor universe, and we're going to be looking to continue to add places for our customers to spend their SafeBoda money in store. So really for us, we're looking to provide a cheap ecosystem that allows our customers to send money across networks for free, so P2P transfers for free, and drastically reduce the cost of withdrawing those funds at the end. Because although we still see kind of cash being the predominant method of payment in this country and across most of the continent, we think that with COVID and the kind of continued rotation to cashless, we have an opportunity to create something really special in our markets. And we've already got a very engaged, supportive user base for our SafeBodas, our passengers and our vendors that we're really looking forward to delivering all these services to. The advocacy at this stage in an ecosystem's development is so important. We are some way behind the likes of Nigeria and Kenya in terms of the development of the fintech ecosystem, but we're doing a great job. And I think part of the success of this community as a whole going forward is going to be down to our ability to work together, to share our knowledge, to share our technology stack and regulatory stack, to work with our regulators, to solve the problems that we kind of all know exist. We have a huge unbanked, underserved population. We have a very high cost, both time and money, to access a lot of financial services. But at the same time, we've got this amazingly fast-growing ecosystem of really cool fintechs coming through locally. And so it's about how do we bring them together to solve those problems together. And I think that's why being involved in initiatives like this is so important to us, because it gives us an opportunity to share what we're working on and to hear what others are, as we look to grow as a community and as an ecosystem going forward. From a challenges perspective, I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that it's quite a nascent ecosystem in Uganda. I think we are very reliant on data that's currently held by government bodies like NERA or UCC for when we're thinking about the validation of our customers' data. Big strides have obviously been made in that area with the APIs being launched. And I think that as that plumbing, as that infrastructure becomes increasingly accessible throughout the kind of fintech ecosystem, we'll see an acceleration in growth in the fintech space. Clearly, as part of MPS, we are all operating under kind of a more stringent KYC, AML, regulatory framework, as we should, to give our customers confidence that they can transact with us in a safe and secure way. But we just need to make sure that as a community, we're solving the problem to make sure that data is sort of accessible where it needs to be accessible in sort of a secure way. I mean, I think from an opportunity perspective, I briefly alluded to before, we have an amazing ecosystem that's starting to grow. and a consumer base that's starting to catch on. So for us, we think that it remains very fragmented in terms of kind of the various fintech firms that exist in Kampala. I think there is a lot of opportunities for partnerships. So we're going to be announcing 2 to 3 very interesting strategic partnerships in the next month or so to support us with things like lending or partnerships to help us sell products for others. And I think that's kind of the exciting times for me, is that we've got all of these very interesting companies that are starting to be born and grow up and be funded. And as they start to work together to kind of bring their core competencies together, we're going to end up with a very strong kind of fintech space that fills the gaps that's clearly kind of left by the banks. My name's Jamieson, and you can access SafeBoda through Play Store for Android or through the App Store for iOS. Download us, use us for ride hailing, for food and shop orders, to send payments and many other cool things.
40 Days 40 Fintechs is presented in proud partnership with Crossleg Technologies, Modus Box, Modular Foundation and Level 1 Projects.